top page here.
Yeah.
Why Joey got death sentence. You know, I'm looking at the difference. Anyway, ni mkate na maziwa ndio.
Hey.
Anyway, this is what was trending yesterday.
Yeah.
And, you know, recently we have seen Joey releasing some gospel music, you know, saying that he's born again and all. And I think this has come as a shocker to some people. We have mixed reactions, if you ask me, everywhere. And why Joey got the death sentence, I think that's the question on everyone's mouth. And I see here standing in the dock and staring blankly as the judge delivered her verdict, a crestfallen Joseph Irungu, alias Joey, bent and clutched his arms when he was condemned to hang. And the pain was, however, nowhere near that suffered by Monica Kimani. And I see here unrepentant, the reasons behind the penalty. Why is it that he was given a death sentence? Number one, he was unrepentant. He did not acknowledge the offense that he committed despite all the evidence produced. Number two, not ready to reform. He had not shown willingness to change. The other thing, reconciliation question, his family and that of slain Monica Kimani could not see eye to eye. Murder most foul, he inflicted grievous harm on Monica, killing her unprovoked. And the other one, split personality. Joey has a dual identity and was referred to as a dangerous person.
Wow.
Oh my.
Sad.
This is really sad
story,
because we can't really know. It's confusing because if at all, you know, we see that Joey decided to turn to God and that's literally what is happening, then, you know, why then is he unrepentant? Because I think it would go a different way if someone says, nimekubali. You know, and I accept that I did wrong. I accept that this was my doing. Because the evidence is there. Unless somebody did it and Joey here is actually being incriminated for something he did not do. I mean, it would be really, really sad if that were the case. But then on the flip side, if indeed he did do it, failing to actually acknowledge and repent, actually they're saying that is what led to that sentence.
And actually the Nation also, below from the front page, how Joey went down, and they say in the end, it all boiled down to manner, consequence, and character. As Justice Grace Nzioka sent Joseph Irungu alias Joey to the gallows for the murder of businesswoman Monica Kimani in her Nairobi flat 6 years ago. Now, they say the three issues that sounded simple and inconsequential as the judge read them out in court, but which in the end determined the fate of a man who caught the attention of the country 6 years ago with his bluster, arrogance, and haughtiness, were the manner in which he killed his victim, the consequences of his actions, and his character as first a human being and second a member of society.
I mean, it's sad. And I see Justice Grace Nzioka, one of her quotes, saying that, is this convicted person eligible for a non-custodial sentence? My answer was in the negative for the simple reason that whoever is to be given an opportunity for rehabilitation must first and foremost himself acknowledge commission of the offense and the need to reform. So this would have gone a different, because actually that was my concern. When I saw everyone posting, you know, he has been sentenced to death, my question was, wait, did he repent? Did he accept his mistake? And did he say he's willing to be rehabilitated? Because if that was the case, then things would have probably gone a different route. But wow, this is really sad and unfortunate.
So and death sentence it was.
Death sentence by hanging. And by the way, 1987 is the year when coup plotter Hezekiah Ochuka was hanged. No other capital offender has faced the hangman ever since. So Joey now is going to receive.
So it's sort of like a life sentence.
It's a life sentence. But now this one is going to be by hanging, not ile kufungwa for your whole life.
But I think, anyway, I think we'll need to ask a lawyer or something because that was the last time we had anyone committed to the capital. Not that we have not had other people committed to the same, but the last to be sent to the
was
gallows.
In 1987.
Yeah.
So is it that
because
now
the Supreme Court, I remember there was a time they were giving an advisory as well, and they cited the death sentence to be inhumane and unconstitutional. So I don't know. Yeah.
Oof, I mean, I don't know how this is gonna go, because actually that was my same thing, because I see when he was condemned to hang, that is what it says here, not life sentence of being kufungwa jela for his life, but he was condemned to hang. And part of it being that he did not repent. He did not accept that he did the mistake. Yet all the evidence points to him. So I think maybe if this person said, I am sorry, forgive me, I accept what I did, maybe now we have the option of now the life sentence and rehabilitation and all that. But we'll see how it goes.
Let's wait and see how it pans out.
Yes, and on other news, I see doctors begin strike after state talks fail. Once again, this is a story that we've been looking at. Kenyans to suffer as doctors in public hospitals. They begin a nationwide strike after their union failed to arrive at a consensus, and that is with the government on issues affecting healthcare workers. I remember the other time we talked about it, is that part of it, the interns, they've been there for a long time. They are tarmacking. They've not been posted anywhere. So, we are expecting that there will be some strikes from the public hospitals. And I also see here state assault. World is told to stand with Kenyan media. President William Ruto administration has come under heavy condemnation over its systematic attack on independent media. And some 20 lobby groups warned in Nairobi yesterday that the state affront led by Broadcasting and Telecommunications PS Edward Kisiangani had starved free media of their traditional revenue streams after withdrawal of government advertising from independent print and broadcast media, which was instead diverted to one newspaper entity and the state broadcaster KBC. This is on page 8. This is something that actually has affected so many media houses like us as well, because you find that most people no longer want to advertise, and even the government itself withdrawing its own advertisements and taking them maybe on
to the national broadcaster. They have actually taken it to the national broadcaster KBC, and that we are talking when we say of government, we mean everything. So from the ministries to the departments to the different government agencies. So that is how serious the situation is. So everything has now been taken to the national broadcaster. I have my own opinions about that, and especially in terms of the accountability and everything, because in a way you are taking, what can I say, intersale. It's sort of like an intersale. So you're taking from this hand, giving it to this hand.
That's true.
Yeah, at some point we will say, si pesa yote ni yetu. Because eventually utarudisha hapa. So kwa nini tulipe alafu tubarudishe na ni yetu. So anyway.
Oh my, that's a very important point. Because if it belongs to the government, si maybe wanasema acha tutumie yetu. Hapa tutalipa pesa kidogo. Si kama huku kwingine.
And even follow up, you won't keep following up with the government, knowing the bureaucracy, processes, nini. Nisi tunakulipa. Si government ni wamekupea hizi licenses na nini. We will sort it out. You don't worry.
And lastly, just one sports news, and then I allow you to take us to the Daily Nation. I see this feels like real heaven. It's where Arsenal want to be. I see Arsenal and nyingine ni gani?
FC Porto.
FC Porto. The Gunners end a 14-year wait to reach Champions League quarters.
14 years.
Come on.
This is the first time they are getting into the quarters.
Imagine.
Mtoto alizaliwa when the last they were there, now they are teens. Anyway, congrats to the Arsenal.
Oh my God, I've seen a lot of memes whereby they've put like an elephant wearing the Arsenal jersey, and he has the food, and then he's like, they're like, it's lonely at the top.
You keep asking, how did they reach the top? But the one thing we are sure of, we may not know how, but one thing that is for sure, it will have to come down. Daily Nation, the front page, I told you, we'll be telling you about bread and milk. And if you are a fan of bread, milk, you need to start thinking of alternatives. Reason, there's a proposal by the National Treasury to...
mukate surely.
Imagine, mukate. Maziwa. So, there is a new plan to tax bread and milk.
Again. Right now we are buying it at 65 mkati.
Na ile niyo
ya 50.
Yeah. So food for the rich, that's the question they are asking, because apparently for the treasury, milk and bread is for the affluent.
Wow.
That's the assumption. So the cost of breakfast for millions of Kenyan households that consume bread and tea as their first meal of the day is set to rise in the next 3 months. Now, this is if the new tax measures proposed by the treasury sail through parliament. Of course it has to. Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njogona Ndongo wants 16% VAT imposed on the two products he says are mostly consumed by quote-unquote affluent Kenyans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bread and
milk. Yeah, it's for the affluent. So if you're taking bread and milk, try to think mhogo.
Oh, yeah, ndoma, you know.
But you see now even that is being taxed at the farm level.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to have these things just coming? Ama wameona sasa hii serikali ni ya taxes. It is the time for us to impose taxes, for there will be no other time.
Who told you? Next year, an Finance Act, Finance Bill of 2025 is loading. These are some of the proposals. Yeah, so that is on page 7. Then I see battle to save Raila AU bid. That is the African Union Executive Council will tomorrow be holding a meeting in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, that will make or break Raila Odinga's candidacy for chairperson of the AU Commission. That is on page 4 and 5. I also see return of CAS. A parliamentary committee has approved the creation of the position of Chief Administrative Secretary, but they have capped the number at 22. Now, this spells doom for more than 50 politicians whose appointments were nullified by the courts. Yeah, it's a story on page 6 inside the Daily Nation. I also see inside senators seek to break costly impasse over tea regulations. I also see D-Day as Senate decides Monda's fate. Kisii Deputy Governor accused of soliciting 800,000 shillings bribe to facilitate job at water agency. Okay. Page 13. Back page, Kenyans between a rock, hard place as doctors strike. Union says doctors have been facing systemic problems for years, ranging from inadequate staffing, poor working conditions, and salaries. That's the back page. 2,400 outlets closed as state ramps up clampdown on drugs and illicit brew. Sports pages, Kenya's World Cup dream that never was. That's on page 35. And women's football struggles to reach promising heights. That is in the Daily Nation. And front page of the Business Daily, small farms given window to share big state tenders. Chinese farms have outmuscled local contractors. Regulations to deal with winner takes it all scenario. I also see the same. Treasury miles VAT on bread, milk in fresh revenue push. Farmers face new levy on harvests traded on exchange platform. So farmers are expected to part with a new 0.25% levy on gross value of their harvests traded on the Kenya National Multi-Commodities Exchange, whose kickoff has been postponed.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
All right. Taxes, left, right, and center. But, you know, we don't depend on salaries, you know. God is our source at the end of it all. But anyway, we are going to be taking a break. That is to look at the video of the day. But once we get back, we'll be talking about it. And also, amazing, ushering in today's conversation on conflict and how it affects children. So you stay with us. As you can see the poster right there. That means it's going to be an amazing. I'm looking forward to this one. I am looking forward to learning.
Yeah.
And you get to learn even more.
Yeah.
We both will be relating today.
Definitely. All right. See you in the next hour.